Part 1. My life was normal, or so I thought. I grew up in a small town, raised by two loving parents. My dad was a mechanic. My mom was a nurse. We didn't have much, but I never went to bed hungry. They supported me through everything: school, sports, my stupid guitar phase. I always thought I was lucky. Until I turned 25. And the first brick came loose. Brick Part 2, the document. I was applying for a visa to travel abroad. I needed my birth certificate. My mom handed me an envelope. I opened it without thinking. But something was off. My last name wasn't the same. The father listed wasn't my dad. And my place of birth was a town I had never even heard of. I looked up at her. She was pale. "We were going to tell you," she whispered. Collision Part 3, the explosion. Turns out, I was adopted. Not in the traditional way. Not through an agency. My biological mother was my mom's younger sister. She was only 16 when she had me. Her parents, my grandparents, forced her to give me up. So my aunt became my mother. And my real mom disappeared. Compass Part 4. Everything shifted. I started questioning everything. Every memory felt like it was shaking, like it wasn't real. My dad, the man who taught me how to ride a bike, patch a tire, shave, wasn't even my blood. But he was my father. More than anyone. Still, I needed to know who I was. So I started digging. Detective Part 5. I found her. My real mom. Her name was Sarah. I found her through a distant cousin on Facebook. She lived 3 states away. No kids. Never married. I messaged her. The reply came 5 days later. "I've been waiting for this message for 25 years. Broken Heart Part 6. The meeting. We met at a diner off a highway. I was shaking. So was she. She cried the moment she saw me. I didn't cry until I saw her hands. They looked just like mine. We talked for hours. She told me she wasn't allowed to visit me. She'd write me letters, but never send them. She watched me grow up through secondhand photos. She memorized every birthday. Firecracker Part 7. My parents didn't know I met her. I didn't tell my parents right away. I felt like I was cheating on them, betraying them. But eventually, I sat them down. They were quiet for a long time. Then my dad said, "You're our son, no matter who she is." My mom cried. But she also said, "You deserved the truth long ago. I was just scared." Railway Track Part 8. The Parallel Life. Sarah, my birth mom, showed me boxes of things she kept. Baby clothes, a toy I used to have, school pictures she somehow got copies of, and dozens of unmailed birthday cards. That broke me. Each one had something like, "Happy 9th birthday. I hope you still like dinosaurs. I love you, even if you don't know it yet." Balance Scale Part 9. I was torn. I loved my parents, but I wanted to know Sarah. I tried to balance both, but it was hard. Holidays got complicated. Conversations got tense. My mom once asked me, "Do you love her more than me now?" That wrecked me, because there's no right answer to that. Light Bulb Part 10. The Realization. One night, after a long call with Sarah, I sat in silence, and I realized something. I was lucky. Lucky to have 2 women who loved me fiercely. Lucky to have a dad who chose me. Lucky to be raised in a lie, because that lie was filled with love. Red Heart Part 11. The Reunion. A year later, I invited Sarah to a family dinner. Everyone was nervous. Nobody knew how it would go. But my dad stood up first, shook her hand, and said, "Thanks for giving us a son." And Sarah just nodded, crying. That night felt like the end of a long war. Or maybe The Start of Peace. White heavy checkmark part 12. Who am I now? I'm 29 now. I talk to Sarah every week. My mom is still my rock. My dad still calls me Champ. I've accepted that family isn't just DNA. It's who shows up. Who chooses to love you, no matter what. The truth broke me. But it also built me back stronger. If you ever feel like your life is a lie, sometimes the truth can set you free. Baby Bottle Part 13. I became a father. 2 years after I met Sarah, my biological mom, I became a father myself. Holding my daughter in the hospital, I looked at her tiny face and thought, I'll never lie to you about anything. But then I thought of my story, the lie I grew up with, and the love that came with it. Maybe some lies aren't meant to hurt. Maybe some are just protection when the world is too cruel. Incoming envelope part 14. A letter from her. After my daughter was born, Sarah sent me a letter. Handwritten. Inside was a photo of her at 16, holding me as a baby. I had never seen it before. The letter said, You were the hardest decision I ever made, but also the most loving one. Now I get to see you be a better parent than all of us. I'm proud of you. Always was. I cried like a child. Then I wrote back. Part 15. Forgiveness. One evening, I sat with my adoptive mom, the woman who raised me. I told her everything. The feelings. The confusion. The gratitude. She was quiet for a while. Then she said, You never owed me forgiveness. But thank you for giving it anyway. She held my daughter later that night. Whispered something to her. I didn't hear the words, but I saw the peace on her face. Part 16. Full circle. A year later, on my daughter's first birthday, both moms came. Sarah, my mom. They stood side by side, awkwardly at first. Then Sarah said, She has your eyes. My mom replied, She has your stubbornness. And they both laughed. That's when I knew the circle had closed. Brain part 17. Who I am, for real this time. I'm a son. Twice over. I'm a father. For the first time. And I'm not angry anymore. Yes, I lost years of truth. But I gained something stronger than blood. A family that survived shame, silence, and time. And now, I get to break the cycle. Part 18. The missing piece. For years, I never asked about my biological father. But one evening Sarah sat me down and said, He isn't the villain you might imagine. He was just a scared 17-year-old boy. His name is Daniel. Lives 2 towns over, works at a hardware store, never married. I hesitated, but curiosity won. We met for coffee. He kept fidgeting with his cup, then blurted out, I've watched your life from the sidelines. I didn't think I deserved a seat. I didn't know what to say, so I said the truth. I'm here now. That's a start. Sometimes a single conversation can loosen decades of knots. Part 19. 2 grandfathers, 1 toolbox. My adoptive dad and Daniel are opposites. Suit and tie versus calloused hands. Yet when my kitchen sink burst, both showed up with toolboxes. They argued over the right wrench size, then spent an hour swapping stories about me as a kid, one from memories, one from rumors. That day my daughter toddled between them, handing over screws like precious gems. I realized family isn't a hierarchy. It's a mosaic. Jagged edges, perfect fit. Part 20. Breaking the cycle. I started speaking at local adoption panels, sharing our tangled history. After one talk a teenager approached, teary-eyed. I'm adopted and angry. Does that ever go away? I told her anger fades, but the questions stay. And that's okay. Later my mom, the nurse, whispered, Your story is helping kids heal. That makes every secret worth it. For the first time, the lie of my childhood felt like a seed that grew into something good. Part 21. The Call You Dread. Last winter, Sarah phoned at 3 a.m. Cancer. Aggressive. Months, maybe a year. I drove straight to her house. We stayed up till sunrise, laughing more than crying. She handed me a shoebox. Letters she'd never mailed, one for every future birthday she thought she'd miss. I promised she wouldn't miss another. Every weekend became movie night, chemo day, story hour with her granddaughter sprawled across the bed. Love can't cure cancer, but it fills the spaces medicine can't touch. Part 22. Full circle, again. Sarah passed away on a quiet April morning. At her request, both of my dads carried the casket. My two moms walked arm in arm behind them. At the memorial, I read one of her letters aloud. If you're reading this, I'm gone, but so is the shame that once buried us. Live loudly. Love loudly. Lies whispered, truth sings. After everyone left, I took my daughter's hand and said, someday I'll tell you this whole story. For now, just know, you're loved from every direction. And the circle closed once more. Not with a secret, but with a song.